We both obviously started in the exclusive hockey business. We certainly saw over the last 4 or 5 years the same manufacturers that were making hockey equipment decided to get into lacrosse. It seemed like our customers, at least 50% of the youth playing hockey is also playing lacrosse, so it's a natural fit.
Lacrosse is settling in a little bit. It doesn't have the same growth trajectory that it did 3 or 4 years ago, but it's still a significant growth sport. And there is significant crossover. Players Bench puts us in a few really key lacrosse markets that we hadn't been in before, Denver most notably. But Dallas too has some significant growth down there. And then I think Madison and Columbus are also fairly dynamic lacrosse markets, still not huge, but growing. So there are some opportunities there. To us, as Rick suggested, a lot of the value in the two sports is because they're connected. So and because hockey is still such a large portion of our business, it kind of has to drive things for the time being. But I would agree with Rick, large upside opportunities in lacrosse, and I think we're going to see a lot of activity there over the next 10 years.
The challenge is particularly on the team sales side, dealing with some of the organizations. They're not as sophisticated in terms of the leagues they play in. Dealing with boards, reaching out, communicating is a little more challenging, but I think lacrosse is one of the fastest growing sports, and it'll get there. But I think one of our largest opportunities for growth in this new company is lacrosse, because it's still on the move, and we've really been in it for 4 or 5 years, and there's a great upside.
As primitive as hockey is from a retail standpoint, I think lacrosse is even worse. It's much more fragmented. The retailers that do it tend to do it based on their connections with the community and not because they're particularly sophisticated retailers.
For years, it was Players Bench was known as a hockey store first, and lacrosse was an afterthought. So I think we had to work very hard to showcase both sports. So that meant merchandising the store equally, whether it was the way your staff was presented, the floor, your merchandising, your racking, so that it was presented that it was, because it is just as important in our business. In recent years, we've had to work very hard to merchandise and market the stores that way, that it's just as important to our customer.
A significant portion of our lacrosse business will probably be in dual branded stores that look like a Victoria's Secret and Pink store, or look like a Gap Kids or something like that, where you feel a difference between the environments. You feel expertise in the staff when you walk into an area. And that may take different forms in different places. It may take the form of shop-in-shops. It may take the form of separate stores like we have already in the Chicago market where they're adjacent. It may take the form of single entrances with different paths within the store. So we might have a different mix of store types, but generally I think the combination store is probably the direction we're going to